Okay.
Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. My name is Mateo, and I'll talk about Ionic. It's a framework to create hybrid applications using only JavaScript, HTML, and some portable stuff. So, first, I would like to talk to you about how it works. It only takes you to HTML files, JS files, and CSS files to make magic and compile it and make a APK file, an EPUB file, just with those files. So it's like magic and everything. But as you know, this is not only done because of magic. It's because some people work on a really good application and a really good part of a project that is right now Ionic. So, how it really works. It works using a CSS and an engine module that uses Angular as a base. So that means that if you know how to code Angular, you already know how to code Ionic. The only thing is that you need to know also a little bit about Score. But it's not that hard because there are some plugins that will help you because Cordova, as you maybe you don't know, Cordova is already a hybrid platform that you can use to use the own native functionalities. And that means that you can access the camera, the geolocation, the GPS, even some functionalities that you may not know as Touch ID on iOS. It made a bridge that you can use JS code to write your own code and use those functionalities. That's almost as easy as coding on an Angular JS application as you normally know. This also uses Go as a base, but that doesn't mean that you cannot use drums as a task automation. But normally, with the CLI that Ionic comes with, it comes with a little of good tasks that you can use. But as we will see on future, these tasks are too basic and we can use new ones, custom ones that will improve our coding. So, going forward, we can see the distribution of the HTML that normal Ionic app uses. Ionic app uses different directives made by themselves that works with your code and make it less unstable and more compatible with all the platforms that we will use. So if you use an Ion side menus, that will be easier for you to create a menu than just using HTML basic because it has an Ionic side menu, a header on that menu, a content on that menu, and also it has the way to create your own content on the other side, and you don't have to code anything. It is just HTML plain with using the directives that Cordova and Ionic comes with. So this will show up as a normal native functionality for menus, as you know on many platforms as Facebook, that you just slide up or slide at the side and it will show up the menu. And you didn't code anything. It's just as easy as simple as using a directive that Ionic comes with. To test and create an app is easy because you only have to take in account that you install the Cordova and Ionic with npm. That's the node manager, node package manager. Then you initiate an Ionic application just by calling Ionic start the name of your app and you can use templates that Ionic comes with. Right now, we can use tabs that is a normal Ionic template that is what I just showed you with the menu and that stuff. Then you have to compile those files that it will create with the Ionic platform. Oh, sorry. First, you have to add the platforms that you want to code on. That is just going Ionic platform and iOS. And then you build those with Ionic build iOS. And it will compile all your HTML and JS, and it will become something that actually Xcode can use. So you can actually open your Xcode, go to the files that it compiled, and open a project. And it will run as if you were a normal project in the native functionalities. But right now, you can also use if you don't want to use your iPhone. An emulator just by copying Ionic emulator apps. And it will show the emulator with all your functionalities. It will open up, and it will show you the splash screen, the code that you had, and everything. The important files on Ionic project. First, we have the Ionic project. This all comes when you create your project. When you do the Ionic start, it will create these files. So you have the Ionic project that contains Ionic basic information. This is more in this is the information with the ID, the name, and the Google classes that you will run when you want to live reload the application, because it comes with a live reload functionality. So it just takes to Ionic serve, and it will run the task that you just coded here to run. So it's a good thing that you have that serve. You don't have to code anything, but that's that you want. So going forward, we have the configuration HTML. That is the configuration that Cordova will take and create the new configuration of the native platform that you will compile. It contains things as the splash screen. Where is the splash screen? The ID that Apple Store and Google Play will use to know which is your application. It will also include the plugins that you will use if you want. If not, it will be included in the platform, the package JSON that you create. Also, we have the app.config.js that is one of the main that you will create for coding the application. This will contain an AngularJS module called Ionic. This Ionic contains many configurations that you will use, or maybe not. If you don't use it, it will get default values as you may know as the values that you want, normal. For example, with the cache, because the cache is something that messes up the normal AngularJS life cycle. For example, with the events that coming up on a controller, it will mess up because if you go normal on an AngularJS controller, it will run all the time the first part of your code in the controller. But with Ionic, there is a problem. If you put a cache too high, it will load up everything that you have in the last screen. So if you have some variables changing, it will mean that it will crash with the next values that you will have with the other controller. So you have to make sure that handling those events, if you want a real good cache, or if you want to disable, it will work as normal AngularJS controllers. For last, we have the hooks. That it's something that normally the people that know Ionic ignores because it's not a required functionality. Hooks is a folder where we can code some scriptings that will help you to build your own Cordova project. For example, if I don't want some files that I created in my www folder, that's the normal folder that you use when you are coding on Ionic, for example, test cases or something like that, You can clean up with a hook. Hooks are just normal JS code. So if you know JS, you just have to create a node module, and then you will use it, and it will run each time you use the Ionic build functionality. So you don't have to mess up with anything by automation testing or something like that when you're building if you are using hooks. Following the Cordova that normally we know it's a Cordova. It's not all, but it's difficult to use if you are using an Angular JS application because it's a JS module, not an Angular JS module. That means that you will have to import some things, use some variables outside the scope of Angular, and it will mess up. That's why some cool guys created an ng Cordova that is a dropper that takes all the Cordova, any of the Cordova plugins, and make it Angular handler to you make use of it as easy as possible. For example, if you want to use the camera, you should use ng Cordova camera plugin instead of the camera plugin that comes from Cordova itself. That it is easier because it has the dependency injection that AngularJS works with. So that will make your code beautiful. That will be your code. That will make your code easier to understand and clear. Next, we have the Ionic market, where you can find some real cool stuff that you can use on your Ionic project. We have starting apps that is kind of in place. For example, we have this that is about the one that's Ionic Messenger, where you have all the chat integration without the backend for an Ionic app. And it's just started. If you buy it, you just use the Ionic, start, name of the application, and Ionic Messenger, and it will work. We also have plugins that are outside Cordova. For example, Animals. It's a file manager that you can use to get all your information from your phone, and it will work with Android and iOS. Maybe we don't know about it, but handling the files on iOS is a mess, and this helps with that. And also we have themes that are like, well, Cordova, Ionic comes with a normal template that has some styles. But if you want to customize those, this is a little too expensive because if you change even the little things that you may know how it works, and it didn't work as you thought it worked. For example, the header, if you just change the size of the header because you want a little header or an even bigger header, you didn't take an account that the header also makes changes in the content, then you will mess up. So there are people that know a lot of these things and make their own things and put it on the community so that we can download it, or maybe to buy it. This is a market. It doesn't mean that everything is to buy, but many things are free. Also, we have a new thing that comes up like I think a year ago, that is Ionic platform. The thing that comes with the Ionic platform, it's a little new. It's still in beta. They were announced a few months ago, but now it's in beta. So, what Ionic platform, or better known as Ionic.io, comes with is a notification, building, updates, user support, and that's free. It will help you with all these functionalities that may be a little hard to understand and a little hard to implement on your Ionic application. So, if you want to use push notifications, they will integrate all the things coming with certificates, all the testing of the push notifications, and you don't need a backend to test it. You can use Ionic platform. Or one thing that it's messed when you are coding on Ionic app and you are going to production, a building, because building it's kind of messy because of the certificates that you need and when you need the certificate. So if you use Ionic platform as a middleware, to call it like it will be easy for you to hold some of the certificates that you will need to build. For example, now it's meant for Android it's a little bit too easy, but for iOS it's meant so you just put on your certificates. You will have also the versioning of those buildings, so you can go and tell the client, oh client, you can download the application from this part, and it will be on it, and it will update if you have a new version. It uses an application called, I'm sorry, I don't remember the name, I don't have it here, but it's an application for your mobile phone where you can test from this side your application. It won't come with all the plugins that normal Cordova comes from, but it will get most of them, and you will be able to see how the app works, mostly on the GS file, on the GS files that you code. That is the main part of the application. On with this, we have the Ionic platform that looks like this. When you're logged in, you just go to Ionic applications. You choose your application that you already know, and you can have applications, analytics, deploying, packaging, and even handling users. It's a little bit new, so it has some bugs, but I tested the push notification services, and they're great. You can actually send test notifications pushing all to the Apple servers, and you will get it if you want to test it. Now, what are the main problems that we have? As we said, we're working with HTML and JS files and CSS files. So it will render it with the WebKit that comes with the Apple device or Android device. So it will render with the Safari that right now it's not that good, principally because of some things that, for example, fields, for example, plugins, and that stuff. So it's a little bit complicated to make sure that everything's working on all these versions. And Android, it's a little bit complicated when you render on all the Android devices the same way because they use another WebKit that is not the one that you normally use. So, well, it's a little bit messy, but principally it will be slower than native. So the animations that you will create with CSS won't be as efficient as the animations that you will have with a native application. So that will be slower. Then in a project on Ionic that we had some issues with some devices that we wanted a really good animation where you come up and show it like with the blur and all the stuff. And with some devices, as they use an older version of the navigator, it was like too slow to show to the client. So we had to make some changes, and it was really messy. It's complicated. And compile project size, not upsize. Well, if you compile all those files, you have a lot of plugins and a lot of code. The code is not that large. But with the UI plugins, and just to use the camera, it's a plugin, and not using the geolocation, it's not a plugin. You will end up with a really big, compelling application. But there is a good thing. That compiled application doesn't mean that you will have a really big application. That means that when you're going to download all the stuff, you will take a long time. But normally the application that it's good. It's not that long. Ionic events management, too complicated. As I said, there are some management that we have to do if we want to have a real good configuration. For example, the management when you are going to a new view. That management is made by event that I created called on Ionic Enter or something like that that will make a goal each time you go to the to the view that you want. But also they have an event that will tell you when they're leaving so that you can handle the cache that I told you about. But it's too complicated. Normally in other applications it's not that complicated. I'm sorry, another frameworks. Ionic configurations, too many. There are too many configurations that we can use on Ionic app. But there is a good thing. There are a lot of configurations that we can actually know to configure that will handle an adaptability to what you really need. But that doesn't mean that it's a really good thing to have. It's a really messy thing when you don't know exactly what that configuration comes from or where that configuration is in. Because the configuration, for example, of the cache, that's one of the things that I have a mess with, is that if you have a configuration of max cache on 0, it will mean that you don't have cache. But if you have a configuration of max cache false or something like that, it will mess up with your app, and when you're deploying, it won't show up anything. So if you mess with one only configuration, even having all other configurations going well, it will mess up your app, and you won't have the ability to deploy. So that will give us the opportunity to go to compatibility on deploying. It is not a mess. It's really a huge mistake when we're deploying and we don't really know what configurations come from and what configurations going to. It will mess up the compatibility when you are deploying. So it will work in almost all the devices, but not in all of them. So if you have a configuration for a side screen, for example, a side screen with a landscape instead of portrait mode, it doesn't work on some tablets. But when you're in anything, for example, when you having an application that you can rotate, it will work with all tablets, but will mess up with some of the devices, with the software that Android has. So we have to be worried about that. And to finish, I would like to give you some suggestions and summarize all the stuff that we were talking about. First, you use these are suggestions. So it doesn't mean that it won't work if you don't use these suggestions. That will mean that will be easier for you, or even clearer for your new development if you use this basis. Use some goal tasks. Use the normal goal tasks that it comes with. It's okay, but there are like 2 or 3 actually works with the things that you will use. It only comes with SAS, it only comes with, I think, E, and a library load. But if you want to deploy that, for example, minifying all the files, concatenating all the files, go into a new different folder, that will require some time, and that's why group tasks are helpful with. So custom tasks are real good. You can use it if you want. Use hooks to clean and copy files too. So as I said, hooks works when you are building an Ionic app with Ionic build. So each time you build your app, it will clean up all your mess if you have some, and it will only go with the files that you want to be on the real applications. So it's a good thing to have. Don't use www folder for scripting. www folder, it's the normal folder that Ionic has to copy all the files and bring it up to the platforms folder that is the one that you will use to get framework, Xcode, and get the iOS code. But there is a mess. If you want to have all stuff that, for example, images, compressing things, decompressing things, it will copy all the things, and you will have to make a really good loop to clean up all the mess that you have. So it's a good idea to have a different folder for scripting and having the www folder as a list folder that will get you with the really good files that you will use as, for example, the vendors files, the scripting files, and that will be good for your code. Then we have the use Ionic directives instead of plain HTML because they have more functionality than only plain HTML. We use the classes that comes with the Ionic directives. It's good. It's not that bad. If we use a div and then we put the class header, it will work. But it doesn't mean that we will put all the functionalities that comes with the actual directive. So make sure that you use all the directives to make a really good application that will work on all the devices that we can work. And follow Angular best practice. This is a really good. This is a really good point. If you use Angular to code, use the best practices of Angular to code in Ionic. It will be a really good code, and everyone can handle and understand your code. Try to keep up as few plugins as possible. As I said, it's a really mess thing when you have a lot of plugins because the compilers will take longer because they're so big. But it doesn't mean that you cannot do this. If it's necessary, do it. But if it's not, try to make as few plugins as possible. And do not override Ionic style classes. It's a recommendation. It doesn't mean that it can't be done. It can, actually. But as I said, it has a background in the classes. If you have a header, then it will have a as header content that will manage all the stuff. If you know it, it's all right. It's great if you want to change it, but make it as slight as possible and make sure that all things that you want it they're really working with all the devices that you will deploy on. Well, that's it, guys. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, so I know that Ionic, one of the advantages of the Ionic is that you can write the application for the Play Store and App Store. Okay. But let's say that I'm going to play my application only for Play Store. Would be just to use Android with Ionic.
Depending on the things that you will use. If you already know how to code on Android, and you have really good coders and developers that will help you with that, I will go with Android only if I require something like good animations, good handling of plugins like camera, because there are some messy things with the actual plugins that we have, and it's a complicated thing to be on Ionic. So, because Ionic is fast if you know all the JS and HTML things, I wouldn't say it's faster if you have the HTML and JS files, but it's easy. So, if you have an Android app, an Android developer, and you will put it to code on Ionic, it's not a good idea. But if you have some guys that really know how to code on web apps, you want them to code an Apple iOS or an Android, it's a real good idea to pass by anyone.
Okay, because you answered my next question.
That's good, that's good. And any questions now? That's good. Okay, thank you.
¿Cuál es la diferencia entre Ionic